Thanks again for tuning back into the channel. It's another lens review, as if you couldn't tell. This time it is a 7 Artisans 35mm f1.8 Lite on the Fuji X mount. The Lite Series consists of a 25mm, a 35mm and a 50mm, all at f1.8, and these are budget lenses, coming in $125 US and approximately 106 euros. This is my first time reviewing a 7 Artisans lens, and I am aware of them, and I'm aware of the manual focus, and if I read correctly, I think it's only in the last year or so that they have moved into autofocus lenses. Moving from manual focus systems to automatic focus systems, I've read can come with its own issues. Let's dive into this video and see how I worked with the lens and how the lens performed for me in automatic focus. The lens is quite compact in size, consisting of a full metal body, plastic lens hood and plastic lens cap, and the friction on the focusing ring is really quite dampened, and it's quite nice to use as well. I had no issues whatsoever using the lens, whether that was focusing manually or with the autofocus. I did, however, notice there is a slight buzzing and whirring of the motors when you are focusing, but nothing to put you off of the lens itself. I have heard louder in other lenses. There is a USB Type-C connection on the lens mount for future lens updates. The lens itself is not weather sealed, but for the price of it, I honestly wouldn't expect it to be either. The focusing ring, as I mentioned, is nicely dampened and turns infinitely, and it's really easy using it to lock on focus should you wish to focus this manually. All the images that you see here were focused using spot focus, and it never missed any of the focus points that I went for. Each of the images I will start with the focus point or where I remember it to be, so that you can see how the lens performs with that. Even in the wider landscapes, it proved to be really sufficient with the rendition of the image itself, and I was quite happy with the results, even out towards the edge of the frame. In certain conditions, it provided images that were a lot better than I was actually expecting for the cost of the lens, so that was really good to see as well. All of the images captured for the video were using the autofocus, and as I did mention earlier, there was a slight buzzing and whirring from the motors themselves, but nothing that would actually put me off the lens considering the cost. If you were thinking about moving into or trying out prime lenses, or in this case the equivalent of a 50mm, just 52.5mm lens, I think it works out to, it actually provided really, really nice images. And most of these images, as you see, if you check the metadata, you will notice that the ISO is quite high for this, because most of these images were shot in quite a dull scene. But overall, the lens performed really well, better than I was actually expecting. Considering the cost of it, I have tried in the past in different systems lenses around this price and lenses cheaper than this, and yes, you would expect them to be worse because of the price, and they proved to be. However, this, if you're considering moving into or trying primes and you want to try them at a relatively low cost to yourself before perhaps purchasing a more professional one, shall we say, I don't think that you will go too wrong with this lens at all. It did everything that I wanted to do, and as I mentioned, I was quite surprised with some of the results as well. Yes, it's not up to the standards of a more expensive lens, but if you just wanted a lens, a prime lens to throw onto your camera, not to worry about it too much and still get decent results, I would think about this. I thought I would let you see the lens at 3 different apertures. This is f1.8, moving on to f2.8 where it sharpens up as expected, and then at f5.6 where I found the lens to perform really, really well in terms of overall sharpness. Purple fringing is apparent in the high contrast areas, but that's easily dealt with and handled really well in post, in this case in Capture One for the Fuji files. So I'm sure whatever post-processing software you use will do the same. Hopefully you get something from that, and hopefully it lets you see for a budget lens how it performs. Now I understand that the area that I took it to is just one of the areas that I test lenses in, and on the day that I was photographing with it, because I've only had it for a short amount of time, the light wasn't the greatest. And so the ISO was boosted quite a bit for some of the images. But overall, I think for a budget lens, it performed really well. It's not a pro lens, and it's not even trying to be a pro lens, but throw this onto your camera, you will get some decent results with it. I was actually surprised, considering the cost of it, the results that I have. Now, I'm aware that some of the manual focus lenses have really good results, but I didn't know what to expect with this, and pleasantly surprised. One of the things you have to think about if you are considering this lens is it is battling against a 40 megapixel sensor on, in this case, on the X-T5, on the X-T4, the X-T3, so on, other APS-C cameras. It might perform even better than what it did. If you want to check out the lens for yourself, all the links are down below, and that'll take you to the website and to Amazon. And if you're looking for a lens just to throw on your camera, test out a prime range, I don't think you will go wrong with this. Thanks again for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.